For our first story, PCN went behind the scenes of Rebound, the Chris Herren story, and asked some hard-hitting questions about his descent into addiction, recovery, and new life mission.
So I started the group really because I was worried about, I coach basketball, football, a little bit of soccer. I have for years. I know most of the kids in town aged 10 to 13 right now. Just watching, seeing in the news the opiate problems, overdoses, reading some statistics about how susceptible every kid from every walk of life is to this stuff. I was honestly scared, and when I learned that there was no DARE program in town and that the health curriculum was minimal at best, I just got concerned, and I just worry about my kids. I worry about their friends, the kids that I coach, even the kids I coach against from other towns. I just always know that there's that chance. And I felt like if I could help start something, I wasn't sure what it was going to be yet, that it would be better than nothing, and so that's kind of where this has all come together. So it's not the first time that Chris has been to Pembroke. It's the first time that Pembroke Titans Against Drugs has sponsored him and brought him here. We're bringing him here because of what his message is, his story, obviously. It's a big time story. The ESPN's done documentaries on him. He travels the world, I think, discussing it. We had him at the high school earlier this afternoon to speak to all the Pembroke High School kids, and it was quite powerful, very real. You could hear a pin drop in there, and I'm even more excited to see what he brings tonight for the whole public. Yeah. So Pembroke Titans Against Drugs is a volunteer-run organization here in town, full of community members, teachers, coaches, parents, neighbors, doctors, nurses, you name it. We're just a bunch of volunteers who are trying to put together educational programs for our kids on some of the dangers of drug abuse. We also try to encourage healthy lifestyles, healthy relationships, confidence, healthy decision-making, those types of things through some of the programs that we do as well. So it's not just about pure formal education about drug abuse. We're trying to run the gamut of really letting kids and parents, caregivers know that the whole community is behind them to make good decisions, and what some of the susceptibilities that they might have are in terms of drugs.
I think at the end of the day, when people listen to my story, I'm really every parent's worst nightmare. When I was playing shortstop in Little League or serving Mass as an altar boy, my mom, that wasn't her expectations. You hear that cliche all the time, it can happen to anybody. I don't really believe everybody believes that, and that's the reason why nobody prepares for it. But if I can share my story and impact somebody, if I could help someone else who's struggling see that there's a way out, that's what it's all about. I do about 250 speaking engagements a year. Roughly 175 to 200 high schools. I work with Alabama football, Florida State football, the Los Angeles Kings. I'm with all those teams multiple times a year. I do the NFL rookies, NBA rookies. So a wide range of audiences, but my favorite is high school. I believe that's where I can have my greatest impact.
Yeah, why is that? Tell me about.
Because I think kids want to do the right thing, and I think they know they're doing the wrong thing, and I think they're torn. I think they have 1 foot in, one foot out, and I believe most want to do the right thing. I don't think we go through great lengths as children, as teenagers, to cover up our Friday night. We go to great lengths to cover up our Saturday nights. We wouldn't cover it up if it wasn't a mistake. What I say to kids is, I always knew kids had something I didn't, the kids that didn't have to. I knew they were okay with facing whatever they had in their personal life, and they didn't need it, and I did. It was a form of escape for me. A tool to help me forget. And I always envied the kids that didn't have to. Even at a very young age, I had that in the back of my mind, that there's kids out there that don't have to do this, and there's kids out there that aren't risking getting caught when they go home. But I am. It's 7.5 years sober. I'm blessed. I mean, I truly am. I counted myself out many, many times. Never ever thought that I could have a life this good. And I'm just grateful for it. And if I can help promote that healthy lifestyle amongst our teenagers, then it's a beautiful thing. You know, in my opinion, I think rock bottom, the word itself, has killed a lot of people. I don't even use it. I'm not a fan of it. I think parents wait till it's too late. I know for me and my journey, I woke up every day taking a chance at dying. That's a pretty bad day. I mean, when you take a drug that can kill you, things aren't going too well. And I did that for 8 years. So my bottom was 8 years long, in a sense. I don't think you have to wait for the inevitable overdose, the inevitable car crash, the inevitable handcuffs. I don't think you have to wait for that.